Have you ever thought about it? The strategy that built your first million may not be able to build your next 10 million. Now, the relationship pattern that got you where you are right now may not get you there. The same for your character, the same for your marketing offer, sales strategies. Now, something deep inside of you is fighting to keep everything the way it used to be exactly and calling that thing you are doing wisdom. It's not wisdom. Now, let's take Mr. Blacksmith from one of the cities around. For 32 years, his hand had shaped iron tools, hinges, gates, the farm implements, hoes, shovels that people came from other states and beyond to buy. His forge was legendary, his craft was a match, his income was consistent, though he wasn't too rich. Then the hardware shops started coming. First one came, the third one, the fourth one, 12th. Now, mass produced iron tools, cheaper, faster, readily available on every steel corner. His customers began to drift, slowly at first, then rapidly. His son came and told Daddy, "Yeah, I have gone to school. I can tell you some things. Can we start pivoting? Instead of making basic tools, can we now buy can we now make tools that rich people can buy? Let us specialize. Let us do some bigger things. Let's specialize in custom forged artistic iron work, some big gates and sculptures and luxury home fixtures. The market is there. Nobody's doing that. Nobody in this region is doing it at high quality. We can charge 10 times what we charge now because we are popular." The man didn't listen. He nodded slowly, then walked back to his forge and picked up his hammer and started hammering again. "Oh, this is what I know," he was telling himself. "This is what my father taught me. This is what I know that works." 2 years later, his forge was silent. Now, his hand hadn't weakened, he's still strong. Yeah, his craft hadn't diminished, but the world had changed and he had refused to change. His son, after convincing him for a long time, left him and started his own. And within 18 months, he had clients from all over the country and beyond. This man had skills, the reputation, the relationships, and the head start, and the knowledge, but he didn't have the attitude, or he doesn't have the attitude. He lost everything, not because the competition we are so stiff that he cannot play. He had what we call resistance to change. My name is Cussons, Africa's premium high performance thinking and strategic execution expert. Now, the point is, when you talk about resistance to change, we think it applies to only people who are, in business or in any other field, in relationships, in the way we do things. Yeah. So in this series, we've been dismantling the mental walls that limit your income, your relationships, and your potential. We are confronting one of the most difficult, which is resistance to change. Is a very serious universal bias, the one that has kept more talent, broke, more businesses obsolete, and more relationships stagnant than almost any force on earth. Resistance to change is a powerful force. You need to understand how it is keeping you back, how it's making you not to do the things you are capable of. Resistance to change bias is the deeply wired human tendency to prefer the current state of affairs, the status quo, the familiar routines, established methods, existing relationship, and known environments, known fields, the things you know how to do, known skills over new, unfamiliar, or uncertain alternatives. Even when the evidence clearly shows that change is necessary, change is beneficial, change is coming, change is overdue. It happens in religious circles, it happens in professions, it happens in the academia. It is the brain's fierce loyalty to what was at the direct expense of what could be. It doesn't show up as fear, not always. More often, it shows up as, something dressed in respectable clothes, like, in this our job, as experienced I am, loyalty to caution, wisdom, tradition, this, we are principled, we don't do everything. It whispers, if it is not broken, please don't fix it. But they don't know that it has been broken for a long time, only that they are not noticing it. They've stopped seeing the brokenness. Go to university, you see courses that are stupid and nonsensical being studied in different faculties. The point is that in business, a marketing consultant who's been running Facebook ad for her clients for 5 years with reasonable result. Now she knows the platform very well. She's comfortable with the interface. He understands the metrics. But maybe the landscape has shifted to Instagram or to TikTok, to YouTube Shorts and all those. But he's not interested. Yeah? Emerging platforms doesn't interest him or her. Her results are declining quarter by quarter. Younger competitors who embrace new platform earlier are stealing her clients. Now she knows she needs to learn new platform. He knows she has even budgeted for a course. But every Monday she faces the same resistance and she says, let me try this once more instead of opening this other platform to learn from it. Now, this person is not lazy. It is just that the change feels like starting over again. And starting over again feels like losing ground. This person is not unintelligent. This person is a professional, in fact, a brilliant professional, being quietly destroyed by resistance to change bias. Now, look at that businessman that refused to go digital when e-commerce arrived, even up to today. Look at the taxi drivers that, I don't like these ride-hailing apps. The video rental stores. I remember when we were young, video rental was a super business. The printing press operators who called this publishing a fad. Even today, the photographers who don't understand that the phone is taking their job. Now if you look at that, you see every one of them lost. They didn't lose to, because there's those, some people know how to do it better than them, but it was to their own resistance. The same in relationships. The same way a couple has been communicating the last 15 years, that's the same way they're communicating. He gets angry, shut down during conflict, she escalates them, they argue, nothing gets resolved, they recover, and then it repeats again over time. By the time they are in their 40s, 50s, everything is going bad. Both of them know the pattern is destructive. Both of them have talked about it. The counselor once gave them specific tools, new communication frameworks, new ways of and engaging each other during tension. But when conflict arises, they default to the old pattern. They want better, but the old pattern is automatic, is familiar, is neurologically groomed, it has been tied with their emotions. Change, even healthy, chosen, desired change, requires the brain to rework how it works, to work harder and change the habits. And the brain resists extra work with extraordinary creativity. Now, the relationship will not fail because they don't love themselves again. No, it will fail because they are keeping and choosing the familiar over the functional. Now, as you always know, fixing it is always our concern. We always talk about three moves. They are powerful, practical, and immediate, applicable three moves you can make. Number one, reframe change from loss to gain. Yeah? Resistance to change bias is fueled by loss aversion. You feel that you are losing, you are starting all over. Yeah? The fear that changing means losing something valuable is what is holding you back. reframe your brain, retrain your brain by asking a different question. Instead of what will I lose if I change, ask what is staying the same already costing me? What am I losing by staying the same way? What am I losing? Calculate the real price of your resistance, both in revenue and relationship, in time and opportunity. When the cost of staying becomes more vivid than the fear of moving, change becomes just very possible, becomes very urgent, because you checking, comparing, what am I losing and what am I getting? So number two, start with micro changes. Don't start everything at the same time. The brain resists so much, it resists large sudden disruption. That's why we have change management programs. So don't announce a revolution, engineer a revolution, introduce one new platform, try one new communication approach, adjust one new business process, go to one platform at a time. Small, consistent changes, they bypass the brain's alarm system, they bypass the resistance system, and they build the neurological pathways that make larger change possible. The man, this blacksmith we talked about, you know, he never needed to abandon what he was doing. He just needed to forge different things and start little by little and build. Number three, build accountability into your change process. Resistance to change thrives in isolation. It prospers when you are, doing it alone. It is stronger when you are alone with your habits and your history. Attach your change commitment to another person, a coach, a mentor, a business partner, an accountability group, a system. External commitment creates external pressure that overrides internal resistance. You will not change for yourself consistently until changing for yourself becomes a public declaration. Someone else is watching, something that will make you to become um ashamed if you don't do it. Now, I want to ask you a very simple question. That question is, what is still the same in your business or your life or your relationship that you already know needs to change, but you haven't changed it yet? Ask that question and answer it sincerely. The strategy that stopped producing results 6 months ago, 6 years ago, that you are still running, you are still doing, the conversation you've been avoiding your relationship for many years, the pricing model that undersells you, that you keep promising to revive, but you are still doing it, the platforms, the processes, the habits, the standard operating procedure, the pattern that has clearly expired but is convenient. You return to it every single morning because it's known, you feel okay with it. That blacksmith was still late when his business died. He was still working hard, but his business had died. Still showing up, still pouring everything he had into a direction the world had already moved away from. He was putting hard work in the wrong places, putting hard work in the wrong direction. That is not perseverance. It is expensive loyalty to a past that has already left. So the world will not wait for you to feel ready. The market will not pause and stay while you build your courage. If you are not learning, others are learning. If you're not moving, others are moving. The relationship will not wait and keep waiting because, yeah, you are the king. No. Before you know it, your wife, your husband could still be in the marriage, but the person has left the marriage. Is present in body, absent in mind. Yeah. So the relationship will not heal itself while you repeat the same pattern and call it love. Change is not the enemy of what you have built. Resistance to change is the main enemy of what you have built. So it's very important that you move, you adapt, you evolve, and take everything you've built with you into a bigger, bolder future. The way you talk, your public speaking capacity, I want to invite you to Rapid Public Speaking for Income and Impact. Check the comment section and be part of that. The early bird is still running, so you can just click and be part of that. Okay, so bias number 17 complete. Now, business is supposed to thrive when you understand that you need to put out the toga, put off the toga of resistance. There is still time to build out your business, and share this with a leader, an entrepreneur, or someone you love who needs permission to change. See you soon.